Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to be talking about how easy money is. Most people think that money is hard, it's complicated, but it's really not. All you have to do is look at the math. If you look at the math, break things down into simple formulas, and you follow the formulas and stick to it with some discipline, you'll see that growing your money and managing it can be really easy. And now you can start growing and utilizing the money for purposes that you really wanted to have. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to be talking about 5 things. 1, budgeting. 2, debt management. Now, I'm not going into much detail about these. I'm going to be talking more about the math. We're talking more about the math on these. Debt management. Oh, I messed something up here. Uh, 3, profitability. 4, investing. Now, again, we're just going to be talking about the math. Because the better that you understand how these work and the math behind it, then you can start actually using it in your life, because then you're going to see that managing money is really simple and you'll be able to grow it really quick. Financial growth. These all are tied together. Okay, so I'm going to read from the scripture, Luke 14:28. I'm going to be talking from, I'm just going to read this scripture. Don't y'all love it when you make mistakes? Okay, so it says, suppose that one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? Wow, that's pretty big right there, because it would seem that the Bible wouldn't even talk about stuff like that. But that's real talk right there. You need to, because we look at the Bibles, all the supernatural stuff, but this is very common and basic. And if you can just do that simple thing, you'll be able to build some big money. Okay, so let's go and explain on some of these calculations here. 1, we're going to talk about the budgeting formula. All right, let's talk about budgeting. Okay, so on the budgeting formula, all we're trying to do is we're trying to come up with income minus, got to make it perfect, expenses. And inside of that, we're going to be looking at, you can call, when you look at this right here, you can call it like 1 or 2 things. You can either say it's savings, or you can be profits. They're really one and the same, because if you have money, it's just money left over. Okay, so this will be like on the personal side of how we would kind of, explain that. And then on the business side, you're going to probably call it something more like this. They all kind of go one and the same, but it's up to you. So I'm just going to say right here, business. Hope you can read that. I know it's a little sloppy. Okay, so let's say, for example, you're bringing home about $5,000 a month. Yep, let me put that down here. Let's say you're bringing about $5,000 a month, and you spend $4,500 in this budget. So you got 5,000 minus that. Anybody know what that is? Pretty simple math, right? It doesn't seem like a rocket science person will have to do a lot of time spending trying to figure that out. It's $500. This is the type of stuff you got to know on a daily basis. I mean, not even on a monthly basis or how often you get paid. You need to kind of understand, how does your money move? Because when you understand that, now you understand, what is it that you're trying to do with this stuff right here, right here. Okay. So, and then also, we say this on a personal level, but you can. And I'll do another example on for the business. So let's just say right here, if we say that you're a business owner and you bring in about 10K a month. Just want to start with some easy numbers, okay? And you spend 9K. Business owners, what is left over? 1K. So for those that don't know what K means, it means 1,000. So, so that's going to be what you call, oh, we didn't say it right here, profit margin. You see how simple this math is? But it seems so simple that most people won't even do it. They won't even think about it. I ask people, how much money you make? How much you spend? I don't know. See, that lets me know why you're struggling, because you don't even understand the nature of your money. So, and let me read this. I'm gonna put it up here, and actually, come here. I'm gonna put up here. I'm gonna read this. Proverbs. Now, everybody should love a proverb because we all know it's the book of wisdom. 27, because it came from Solomon. 23, 24. Okay, so I'm going to read that. Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds. Can y'all hear what I'm saying when I say this? Be sure you know the condition of your money. What's in your bank account? How much income, how much expenses you have. Be sure you know this. And business owners, be sure you know your revenue and your costs. Be sure you know that. Give careful attention to it. So your herds, give careful attention to your herds. Give careful attention. Give careful attention. Give careful attention. It says it right there in the Bible. For those who don't know, look that up. It says, give careful attention, for riches do not endure forever. The emphasis is on tracking finances diligently. So don't be, I got to talk about this for a minute, because I just feel like people want more money, but when it comes to getting more money, you don't want to do the stuff to manage the money. So then you put money in the account and then you go swipe, swipe, swipe. And And if you're old school, you might write a check or something. But then you don't even know how much you spend. You don't even know where your money's going. You have no idea the condition of your flock. You don't even look and see how much money came in. You don't even look and see how much you spent. You don't even look and see what is your current balance. You just guess it in your head. I think I have this amount in there. You won't even check it. Lazy. That's what that is. It's lazy. Go in there and check your bank account. Know the condition of your flock. Know how much income you're making. Know how much expenses you're making. Okay? It sounds so hard, but it's so easy. I mean, it's like easy stuff, but we make it so hard because we're lazy. But we got an enemy out there who's against us, so we got to be diligent. Okay, that's how that's how you're gonna get rich. That's how you're gonna get wealthy. All right, let's go to the next thing. So on your personal finances, there's kind of ratio rules that you're gonna live by, and I'm gonna go over some of the business ones too. The ratio for, let's just say right here on your personal finances. All right, so when you make money, let's see, when money comes in to the bank, when you make money, you you're doing a direct deposit into the bank. Okay, let's get a little dollar sign there. And when the money goes in the bank, you should automatically know. Let's just say $5,000. You got paid, money went into the bank. You got $5,000 in the bank now. You don't really have $5,000 because you got expenses that's going to eat that. You're going to have a, let's see if I can see, draw a little Pac-Man. It's going to eat into that. There we go. And that's going to eat that money. So you don't really have that. So you need to understand when that money comes in, what is really left over from that. Okay, that's what we're really talking about here. So, but you got to really kind of protect your money. So you're going to live by what you call these ratios. Okay, that's what I like to call them. But essentially, ratios slash budgeting. Can y'all see that? Ratio slash budgeting. Okay, so what are they? One, you're supposed to live off of 70% lives. Come on, y'all. Live. Why am I having a hard time spelling live? Live off. Supposed to live off of 70%. Okay? So you're gonna live off 70%, and let's break down the 70%. Out of this 70%, you're gonna have 50% needs, and you're gonna need, and then you got 20% wants. Can somebody tell me which one of these is the most important? I'm gonna tell you, is this one. Needs. Needs is your expenses, where you pay your bills. This is your bills. This is no bills. Okay, so that's just kind of this random spending. So the 70% comes in, 50% is going to go towards your needs to pay your bills. 20% is going to go towards some wants, because you got to understand, when you're working hard, you're going to need to have some money for yourself. Okay, you don't have to go and blow through this money, but don't go and blow through all this that came in, don't blow through that, because that's what most of us is doing. Letting Pac-Man eat up all the money that come through. All right, so 50% needs. All right, so let's see here. So inside of this, I said bills and then food. Oh, that's ugly. Let me clear that up for you. There we go. Food and housing. That's your mortgage or rent. Okay. I think that's pretty clear right there. Now, if you're over 50, now see, here's another thing. You probably just like, man, I ain't got time to be managing and figuring out how all that is. I just want the money to hit the account and I just want to go do what I got to do. Okay. Well, stay broke, stay poor, be amongst the broke people. Don't listen to nothing I'm saying here. Don't just turn, go to somebody else's channel because this is not for you. You got to put in work for this. There is responsibility that comes with managing God's money, being a good steward. So 50% here, 20% there. The 20% is is entertainment. Getting kind of tight up in here. Let's see. Entertainment. Travel and shopping. Okay, let me tell you something. If you are spending more than 50% here, you're living beyond your means. Uh-oh. I feel like I just said something that people don't want to hear. I work hard for my money. I should be able to spend it on whatever. You're living beyond your means. 50%. Now, if you want, you can create another, but I'm just trying to tell you what the rule of thumb is. The rule of thumb is 70%, 50, 20. So 20% of your money should let me go toward entertainment, travel, shopping. Don't be taking entertainment, travel, and shopping out of this 50%. Don't be doing that because now you're going to blow your stuff out of proportion. Okay? This formula works because notice how I said at the beginning of the video, if you focus on just follow the formula, it will keep you safe. It will encourage saving and smart spending. It ensures financial balance. Okay? On this one, I want to read another proverb. I love Proverbs because Solomon knows what he's talking about. That's why he was the wealthiest man for a reason. And I don't know about you, but I want to be wealthy. But I would say right now I'm doing pretty good. So I'm doing better than most people. So, but I'm not saying that I'm all that. It's God's grace. So Proverbs 21:5, the plans of the diligent, there's that word again, diligent, leads to profit. So I'm going to talk about the business side. Just give me a second. This is personal because we can apply this to both sides. The plans of the diligent leads to profit as sure as haste leads to poverty. So what do I mean? What does it mean by haste? Haste meaning that you're living beyond your means. You feel like you gotta have this. You feel like you gotta have this. I gotta have this dress. I gotta have these shoes. I gotta have that ride. I gotta drive really good. I gotta travel. I'm young. I gotta do something. I gotta live life. Okay, live your life and come back and be broke and don't have no. And then let this person, which we call the devil, but what you do is you keep blaming this person of why you ain't got no money. You can stop this person. You can kill that. All you have to do is follow this ratio. Okay? So The other thing I want to add into this for, let's see, we have 70 is, let's see, let's bring it over here. So I'm gonna bring all this over here. And let's just say number two. Number two. So if we say 70, that means 30 is left. So you're gonna do 20% savings. Okay. And in your savings, that's going to earn interest. Okay. I don't like that stuff looking crammed up like that. You don't let that earn some interest. I'm not going to go into where you need to put all that money. Just find somewhere for something to earn some interest. You can develop some other strategy later. I'm not going to go into that on this right now. Just trying to keep it basic and simple. 20% needs to earn interest. Well, how much is left now? 10%. 10% is supposed to be your tithe. Now, if you don't believe in tithe, fine, don't do it. Do whatever. If you want to take the other 10% and move it toward here or here, that's up to you. I'm just telling you this is how I live. 10% tithe because I honor the Lord. 20% savings. If you want to adjust this, because some of you might be saying, I can't save 20%. That's too much money. I'm in too much debt. Okay, I understand. Sometimes you got to crawl before you walk. Well, just lower this number down because you may need more over here. Not here, here. You may need more here. So until you can get that to counterbalance, then go to the 20%. Okay. So to me, that seems like some pretty simple math. I don't think I went into like something that's very deep. I feel like this is very simple, very plain. I hope I didn't lose anybody on this. It's very simple. Live off of 70, 50% needs, 20% wants, 20% savings. And the most important, because if you got to be a giver, because what you return to God, he's going to return back to you 10% tithe. Okay. All right. So that's the personal finance side. Let me go over the business side, because for them business owners, because all business owners aren't personal anyway. So even if you're making big money, you still need to follow this. So you're not exempt from this. Okay. So business owners, let's talk about y'all. All right. On the business side, I'm going to change the color here. All right. Let's do yellow. On the business side, okay. So for the business owners, you got to live by ratios too, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself in a whammy, and you're going to get smacked in the face because you're going to find out you don't have no money to make your payroll. You don't have no money to pay that obligation that you said you would pay. Okay. So we got to be even more responsible as business owners and make sure our finances are right. Don't be blindfolding yourself and trying to figure out what's going on. Stop all that. Put some math to it. Make it simple. Okay. So we're going to do some ratios. Now, you may agree, you may disagree. It doesn't matter. Just live off of ratios. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. 1, The money comes in. We're going to call it revenue. You got revenue. Revenue. E. Revenue comes in. Bam. It hits that bank account. I know this is a little messy, but I want you to get the point. It hits that bank account. Okay. So now what are you going to do now when that money hits that bank account? You got to have some ratios or budgeting. Let's put that back up here again. Okay, so let's put this up here, the ratios. So ratios / budgeting. I know most people ain't doing this and they don't care about it, but you need to start caring. All right. So when the money comes in, you're gonna need to you're gonna need to have several bank accounts for this. I go by like the profit first method, and I feel like that works really good when it comes to managing. They say 5 accounts, but I say 6. So the money comes in, you have an ops account, that's operations. And there you're going to have about, now every business is different. So you're going to need to better understand your business, but I'm going to say 60%. Now, wait a minute. I got to explain this for a second. Again, every business is different. You're going to really need to understand your business. Here could be 40%, right? Because I'm going to say that I'm going to run my business off of 65%. Now, I do a payroll account because I need my money separate, because I don't want my payroll money mixed in with the operations, because that's just where I'm at right now. But it may change down the road. And some of you may be okay with the payroll being in there. It's up to you. Payroll for me is 25%. Now, some people's, their payroll is a lot higher because you're in a different industry, and the industries may call for you to have more payroll because you got to spend more money. For example, some of those that are in um, uh, like retail, or people that are in the um, mental health industry. There's some people that you're not necessarily doing all the work. So then payroll's a lot higher. So you're going to have to understand what you're in. So, but usually you should be doing about living 65 to 70%, really 65 to 70%. And that's kind of similar to the, that's kind of similar to what we said on the personal side. See right here? We said 70%, 70%. So yeah. And then on um, the other count is going to be, now I added this because I still feel like this is important, marketing, because some of you are not marketing, and I'm not even going to say that that's okay. If that's what you want to do, that's your thing. But I feel like you need to market. I feel like you need to market. You need to market. So some people, when they look at marketing, and I ain't gonna lie, I did too, but I'm learning to break this limiting belief about marketing. If you really look at marketing, all companies that are making real money, they all have a marketing department. They have sales and they have marketing. That's how they drive business. Now you may say, oh, I built my business up to this point. I ain't had to put a lick of money into marketing. Okay, fine. You ain't making that. You ain't scaling. You're not making big money. You may be making enough for whatever you think is good, but it's not really big money because you can only go but so far without doing true marketing and driving sales and understanding predictable income. So marketing is very important. So you're going to need to educate yourself because that's another thing about trying to grow business. Educating. You need to educate because if you educate, that's going to help you. That's going to help you to understand how to grow this business. Okay, because I don't know about y'all, but I want to grow. So I've been putting a lot of these money up in this marketing on the education side so that I can understand how to market. Okay, so don't be scared of this. Just learn about it because some people are scared of payroll. And if you're really trying to grow your business, you can't do everything on your own. You're going to need to pay somebody else to do the stuff. So stop acting like you got to do everything. Because I know people got that attitude. Well, if you can't do it like I can, then get out the way. I'm going to do everything. Okay, fine. Stay at whatever the revenue is that you're making. And if you're okay with it, burn yourself out. That's okay. If that's what you want to do, no worries. But for the ones that want to leverage and duplicate themselves in other people, you need to pay people to help you out. All right. Sorry, got off track. Let's get back to this. I'm going to say 10% for this. Now, these numbers are always adjustable. The whole point is just live by the numbers, live by the formulas, live by the ratios, live by them. Start budgeting so that you can have pools of money to pull from and you're not just focused on just one bank account that has all the money. You don't want to just be like, oh, all the money's in here, and then you look at it and it's like, oh, there's 20,000 in uh, there's 20,000 in this account. Oh, I can spend. I got enough money, but that 20,000 will be gone in 2 weeks. So be careful. That's why you need to break this stuff up and be disciplined on what's in there, because then you're going to know that it's not time to make this move yet. You're going to need to wait until this builds up some more. Okay, the next one is taxes, because I know a lot of you think that you're invincible and that you're never going to have to pay taxes. Now, there's a chance that could be possible. You need to get it with a tax strategist. We do taxes. That's our thing. So you need to get with a tax strategist. We can help you with that. No worries. Somebody's going to help you reduce the tax liability or get it down to nothing. Okay, that's what you're going to need to do. But in the meantime, you're still going to need to pay some taxes on some level. You're not going to always get away with it forever. This is just going to be on an annual basis. So you'll have the money in there for a safety net. And then at the end of the year, after you file your taxes, when the season comes up, the following year, that first quarter, and you don't owe anything because you're working with a tax strategist. You're working with a tax strategist that's going to help you not pay that much money. Okay, then if there's no money, whatever that money that was in that pool, now you take it and enjoy it for yourself because it's extra money now. Okay, business owners, you're in business to feel like you're accomplishing something. And if you got this extra money sitting to the side that you never really was thinking about or concerned about, this can either pay your tax strategist or it can pay you or pay yourself. Okay, because sometimes we get scared of paying people big money. You're not going to get tax strategies for free. So don't go to your tax preparer and think that they're going to, or your CPA, and think that they're going to work out some strategy for you and get handed over to you for free. No, they want some money. Taxes, I'm going to say where are we at? We at 65, 75. I'm going to say another 10%. This can fluctuate between 5 and 10%. The next one is, I I know I'm going to save this one over here for last. I'm going to say savings. Oh, I know what it is. This one is called savings slash profit. I'm not going to talk about that one right now because I remember what the other one was. It's owner's pay. Now, if you're a C corp, you can't do this like this. You can't have no owner's pay. You're gonna have like dividends. You're gonna have dividend payout because owner's pay is for single member LLCs, or if you're a partnership or an S corp, you can do what you call shareholder distributions, which is very similar to this. But when you're a C corp and you actually have a board, you can't take out money whenever you want to. You got to run it by the board. But if you don't have a board and it's just you making decisions and you're a C corp, then you can have something like this, but it's going to come through dividends. So that's another lesson for another day. I'm going to say 10% on this because you need to have some money for yourself. Now, where are we at? 40, 65, 75, 85, 95. All right, that number's off. So because really, this savings and profit, really, this number should be 20%. But I'm just going to say that, we're going to do 10%. But let's adjust these numbers here. All right. All right. So we're at 65, 75, 85. So now we got 15 more, right? All right. So taxes can be, let's say that's 5%, right? Because at least you got something. Because really, you need to pay yourself. All right. This is where you're going to pay yourself. You're going to pay yourself out of this owner's pay. And then when you have extra money for savings and profit, then you can pay yourself out of that also. Or you can save this for the future of where you're trying to grow and build your business. Whether that's getting better equipment, getting upgraded trucks, or buying a building, whatever. So let's just make sure all this math makes sense here. 40, 65, 75, 80, 90, 100. All right, we at 100%. All right. So again, these are 6 accounts that I use. If you want to play with these numbers, you can. But again, when the money comes in, it automatically needs to start splitting. Split the money out. Because if you don't split it and you look at it just what's in here, then you're gonna be broke real soon, or you're gonna be stressing and sweating, trying to figure out where the money's going, or you're gonna be out there running, trying to make a move and run a play and do all these different things to get money, and you're stressing yourself. We're supposed to work smarter, not harder, right? Simple. Follow the formulas. Okay, because I know a lot of you out there ain't budgeting. And this is just basic right here. This ain't even real budgeting because you're not keeping track of expenses. You're just breaking out money. That's all that is. You're just moving money in different buckets. We ain't even talked about the expense side of it. Okay, so but this right here is a gold mine, and I'm telling you, you can save some big money and put yourself in a very secure position if you would just follow these ratios. All right. I just want to thank y'all for listening to what I had to say today. I'm really passionate because I've been through these phases and stages about money, and it's very painful to go through not having any structure or knowing where money's going to come from, or you feel like you're a good revenue producer and you're doing all the work, but then your money is still low. Why do you only have $1,000 in your account and you make 100,000 or you make 200,000? Why you only have $5,000 in your account thinking that you're doing something? There's other people, they got like $250,000, they got $500,000, they got $1 million in their account. Why you only got like 1,000? We got to stop this kingdom, people. We got to be good stewards of our money for the kingdom. It's very important. So thank y'all for watching today. If you like anything of what I'm saying, I hope I said something good. Please Like, follow, subscribe. Please follow me. All right. Thank you.